is an aura clearing reading for Oracle and Rainbow. Okay, so I do have some statues down here. I have Isis here, and then I have Anubis, which we recently got, and then so some Egyptian energies coming in, but I have them down in front of me, so I also feel like they're kind of stationed there for the aura clearing part of the reading. And oh, I have two spheres here. I didn't even realize that. I have my obsidian sphere, which again is down in the front. So I don't know if I'm actually going to be using that or if that's just there for kind of extra protection and energy. And then I have my tiger's eye sphere here. And this is really coming in with an energy like third eye energy. Also, this crystal always has to do with grounding, and I do feel that as well for this. But yeah, there is definitely a third eye energy coming in with this crystal specifically. And like I said, that's my tiger's eye jasper. Jaspers are very good for grounding specifically, and I'm kind of emphasizing this crystal because for some reason I feel a lot of energy on it specifically. Okay, so then I have my pyramid here, which is another jasper. And then I have a couple of white crystals here also. This is my crystal quartz one, so this is very good for clearing and cord clearing. Also, this, it has kind of an Archangel Michael cord clearing angelic kind of energy going on there. The white stones a lot of times feel like they can represent an angelic energy or even an extraterrestrial energy, but it feels like a higher vibration coming in. And specifically clearing with the wands, but then with the second white stone, I don't feel so much it representing an angelic energy. It feels more very peaceful to me. And this is Intensionite. And I have never been able to find that anywhere other than where I found it at the New Age store. And they didn't even have any information on it. This is my rose quartz. And so those are all the crystals and statues that I have for the beginning of the reading. And it should be pretty obvious to you, especially from the last reading that we did. But obviously, it's you are Oracle and your daughter is Rainbow. And I do have both of your pictures here. I was thinking that this reading might only be for you specifically, but then last minute, as I was pulling up your picture, I really felt to pull hers up too and ended up receiving two code names for both of you. Okay, and actually I'm feeling to start with Rainbow. Don't say the other name. Okay, I almost said the other name. All right, let me see here. Am I starting with this? Okay, no, I'm starting with this one because I also have the picture of the two of you together as well. All right. All right, so right away I'm getting this very peaceful kind of energy coming in. Just like the energy that was coming in with the Intensionite. Okay, I'm feeling like I almost need to split these up a little bit. Okay, I feel like the Tiger's Eye Jasper, this feels like it's for both of you. Isis as well feels like that's coming in for both of you. Okay, and then this, the Anubis and the Obsidian, I feel more as just sort of generally there. The pyramid and even the crystal quartz. This feels more like it's coming in for you. So these are like very masculine energies then coming in. And this would also signify to me that there is like a lot of clearing that we're going to be doing when it comes to you and your energy field. And it makes sense that we wouldn't need to do so much of that for the daughter because she is younger. And also, your guys are reminding me that they did state in the email reading a while back that because of how clear you were getting during the pregnancy, this is also part of the reason that there wouldn't need to be as much clearing on her behalf, at least not at this point, because she is young as well. And so when you're younger, you don't have as much time to accumulate a lot of stuff. Um, but you can come in with still a lot of stuff, obviously, due to past lives and things like that. So part of this really does have to do with, like your guides are saying, the pregnancy and the clearing and the preparing that you were doing spiritually during that time period. Okay, I do have like a kind of angelic type of being coming in. So they're going to be helping with the clearing. Okay, so I'm actually starting off with both crystals here. Okay, so the first thing I'm being directed to is the third eye opening and the crown chakra as well. And at the same time, I feel like an energy of sealing her auric field. And for that even to be done on a regular basis. In order for the third eye and the crown chakra to be open and continuously open up and to be used, at the same time, she needs to be protected. Okay, and that is the one thing that is coming in as far as like things like auric clearing and things like that. And I was saying her energy is more clear and just more stable in that way. At the same time, there is a feeling that the one area where she could end up collecting some debris really would be in this area of she does need to protect her space. She does need to protect her psychic field and her energy. So this is empathically, she needs to protect herself from other people, psychic vampires, this sort of thing, and just empathically things that she could pick up on or absorb from others. But then even things like negative entities. Um, if your chakras become very open, especially the crown and the third eye, then you can become aware of other things, but also you sort of attract things that are more aware of you. And so obviously you can end up with a lot of positivity around you, but you could also end up attracting something negative as well. So sealing the aura also, this is something that's important. Even things like cleansing her room, cleansing her space. This is something that she could use salt to do. You could use like sea salt, or you could use Himalayan salt. Not like, well, you could use the table salt. It's more about the intent, but at the same time, the reason why I would feel Himalayan salt or sea salt versus like just regular table salt. The Celtic sea salt, that's not that hard to come by. And the thing is, it's just more pure. That's really the only reason. So as long as it's like just a kind of pure salt, um, that as well as putting out its own intent because it's just a more higher vibrational salt. So she can just, put this around the borders of her room. You can do this with your room and the house as well. Okay, and I have the eternal child coming in also. The eternal child, well, it kind of, sort of an androgynous being, but they are one of the seven speakers of the Council for the Assistance to Earth. I can't exactly say member. They're not exactly an official member, but they are. They are in a sense. But they are very much allied with the council, and they are one of the seven speakers for the council. But the eternal child helps to protect psychic children. That's one of the things that the eternal child helps with. All the different members, each of the seven, they have their own, things that they can be called on for that they help with. And that is one of the things that the eternal child really helps with. Releasing your inner child and wisdom, recalling past lives, she helps with, but also psychic children and the protection of psychic children. She also helps with things like joy and lifting moods. This is just continuing to come in, but this is something very important. This is something that your guides and her guides want to stress. This idea of psychic protection, sealing her auric field, and the salt that's coming in again. I also even see things like candles, any kind of object like that. It just gives off an energy and an intent. And I see specifically black candles. The color black, just like the obsidian here, it's very good at absorbing negative energies. And also black is very protective. It's the divine feminine energy. And the divine feminine represents the inner world. And so it's also something that is hidden. And so it can hide you, it can cloak you. And so it can like cloak you in divine protection. So black is a very, very important color for protection. And there is a lot of feminine energy with her, divine feminine energy, as far as her inner world and her psychic ability. And whereas you did close this off at some points, her guides would really like this to remain open. But the way to do that is to cleanse her space so that she is not experiencing a lot of the things that you were experiencing as much. And if she does experience them, she can have more of an understanding of what to do, how to protect herself, how to remove certain vibrations from her space. That is something very important. Okay, so now we're going to move on to Oracle here. All right. Okay, so for her, not so much clearing was necessary. For you, you haven't protected your space as much because you didn't know how. And there were a lot of things that you weren't aware of. So it's like she has that advantage because you are her mother, you know. All right. So before you could really do something like sealing your aura, you would really need to clear it out a lot more. So things for clearing. All right. So right away, I am feeling this thought form, and it's coming from your eyes, especially. That's sort of where the root of this thought form is residing, is in your eyes. I do feel like it's grown though, so it's not only in the eyes. That's why I'm saying the roots of it. The roots of it are in your eyes, and it's specifically giving off this energy like it doesn't want to see its path or even like its career type of thing. Now, like your guide said, this could be a hobby on the side, but it would need to be something that even if you're not doing it as a career, it still needs to be taken seriously in a way, not seriously like not joyfully, but seriously like where you're giving it your all, you know, because this really does have to do with the mission, your mission in this lifetime, the ability to read others, the ability to read situations, your mediumship abilities, your mediumship gifts. I think part of the reason it's coming in as a hobby is because they know that you would want to practice a lot beforehand. You would want to practice beforehand and give numerous readings more in your full potential, your full power, your full expression of who you are. So even if you have given some practice readings here or there before, it would be more like at this new point where you're more in your power and you can get things more clearly and more easily and more fluently, and where even if you mess up, it's not going to affect you so much. You know that you are practicing. So they want to give you this practice almost zone, this comfort zone, and they want to give you almost a time of practicing. And I think that's why it's coming in as both. It's coming in as a hobby and it's coming in as a career. And both are stated. But this, you might almost have some trouble connecting with that idea, even though I'm sure part of you would want that. Part of you does connect to that idea, I really do feel. But I feel like it's more your reality, or what the council refers to as the higher, well, the council refers to the higher self as the reality. And they think of it a bit differently, not as something higher, more something deep within yourself. And it is basically you without limitations or programmings. So it is the real you, it's your reality. And so it feels more like a calling. It feels more like something that your reality would want to do. But yeah, you do have this thought form here that, like I said, it's coming from the eyes and it doesn't want to see its path. It doesn't want to see its path because it doesn't want to go down it. It doesn't want to follow its path, probably because of things that it has seen. Meaning entities, meaning these frightening types of experiences that you would have when you were a kid. So this is a fairly old thought form, but I do feel that it came from this lifetime. And so this can also be cleared in this lifetime. And that's not to say ones that we've got in past lives can't be cleared. I'm just saying that's also coming in. It can be cleared in this lifetime, but it also came from this lifetime. So it is still fairly young. It's not that old of a thought form. And it does also feel like it is a pattern. It's not really an identity level yet. This is more council stuff. But so they teach that there are 3 levels of thought forms. There is a belief, and then there's a pattern, and then there's an identity. So this is like kind of an intermediate thought form. So you've been in this pattern, you've been in this cycle for a while, but at the same time, you are not fully identifying with it as you at this moment. So it could grow, it could turn into more than simply a cycle that you are in, but at this point, it is a pattern level or a cycle level. It's not an identity yet. And I don't feel like, I'm supposed to remove this. I feel that you are. I feel that there are fears that you need to face. That's what it feels like. There are fears that need to be faced. You need to confront your fears. Whether it's being wrong, whether it's being ridiculed, or whether it is being a victim to something negative. Okay. But another thing that's coming in from your guides is that also you have got to learn the difference between a good entity and a bad entity. You have got to work on feeling the differences out. I think this came up in your last reading too. And you had that thing around you. And I was saying there is this entity around you, and this is the type of being that it is. So it looks like this, and it comes to you as something positive, but it's negative, and then you send me that picture that you had literally drawn like a day or two before the reading or something like that. And it's literally the same entity, and it's surrounded in, shiny light and all this. So this is something really important. Yeah. And if you're going to give readings or even for whatever you're going to be doing, at any point, guidance can come through at any point when you are a medium and when you are open. Guidance can come through at any point. But at the same time, it can be negative or positive. So it can be true guidance or it can be this false voice attempting to falsely guide, which could be a thought form, especially with a feeling. A thought form can give a feeling. Thought form can give a feeling to do something, or it can give a fear of doing something, but almost pose it like an intuition. A thought form can do that. And then obviously entities, the same thing as was coming in with Isis. Those things can be attracted to someone who is more open. So for you, it isn't just about learning to really get good at protecting your space and just how to do it. This is something that I would research too and experiment with, what works best for you when it comes to clearing out your space. All right, so I am going to focus on some clearing here. All right, so I'm going to be using Anubis. Okay, and I'm going to be using the obsidian. Okay, but actually no, I'm just supposed to set these here. All right, and let's see. So I'm going to use the sphere. And I'm just getting this affirmation over and over and over that you see clearly what to do. Oracle sees clearly what to do. Of course, I'm not using the code name. And, obviously you have to go with your own intuition when it comes to what you do with your life, not just someone else's. Because anybody can be wrong. Anybody can be wrong. Although I'll say that I highly doubt that, as I haven't had any negative feedback all year. So that's not me doubting my abilities, certainly. But at the same time, you have to trust yourself. You have to go with your own intuition. But I feel like to really, because of these thought forms that are here, I think it's important to go to your guides and ask them, okay, if this is the path, if this is what I'm meant to be doing, then show me that, give me clear guidance of that, give me a clear sign of that, or clear signs of that. It's more multiple coming in. And also to block these thought forms from reversing that, or influencing that. So let you feel what your guides are sending as signs, because also a thought form can attempt to block something like that. And that's the thing about guides. Guidance can get through, but at the same time, it has to go through these blocks that we have. And then a lot of times it does come in, and then the way that we interpret it might be off, due again to thought forms that we have, beliefs that we have, patterns we have, identities that we have that are not us. But we identify with them as us, as being our own voice, our own thought, or our own feeling. And your guides are saying it's almost similar to someone who has a cancer, who has a type of cancer, and they're identifying with that as the cancer is mine. It's in their body. They have it. They're going to die from it. Versus someone who heals themselves by realizing this is an illusion. I'm not a victim to this. My cancer's gone already. And then it is. They're healed from it. But sometimes it's something that almost seems positive, or it seems like it is protecting us. It doesn't seem like a cancer that's going to kill us. It seems like something that is helping in some way or protecting us. It's benefiting us in some way. But it's actually still negative. Because a lot of the time, you know, a thought form that steps up to protect us in a negative way, obviously it's out of a fear or it's out of a negative emotion. And that's why it's stepping in and attempting to protect us. And healing takes place by facing the fear, not by giving into it. You will always, always be a victim to what you were a victim to during childhood and at other points in your life. Unless you face this thought form, unless you face the fear that it contains. And your fear as well, because you were the one who created the thought form, you created it out of your fear. Okay, so that is all that your guides have to say. So thank you so much, Oracle and Rainbow. I had to remember those code names. Thank you so much for allowing me to do this reading and clearing for you, and I truly hope that this benefits you. Thank you very much. Namaste.